when the report itself is clear about the people who ought to be prosecuted, and he's on the board. So the dichotomy they've created that, oh, you know, the CHRAJ report is only others who are in trouble, who are going to face prosecution. But as for Kusi Boateng, he's been totally cleared. He's come out squeaky clean. So let's cut through that propaganda. Now, what has created that window of opportunity for the propagandists to go to town? It is this particular statement in the CHRAJ report at paragraph 11, page 159, where CHRAJ writes, quote, "The fourth respondent, Victor Kusi Boateng, a.k.a. Kwabena Edujemfi." And what is even this? Official report CHRAJ is writing. Victor Kusi Boateng, a.k.a. Kwabena Edujemfi, it does not hold two different passports, each bearing one of his two names, with different dates of birth on each document. There is no Victor Kusi Boateng in the passport database. The fourth respondent has rather been issued 4 ordinary passports, 3 of which have expired, and 1 diplomatic passport under his name, Kwabena Edujemfi.
Under his name?
Yes. Kwabena
this is in the CHRAJ report.
So is this not a confirmation?
But
this is rather a confirmation.
But who wrote this particular portion?
Yeah,
paragraph 11. Who wrote it?
I mean,
did they read it?
You wonder. Look,
did they read it? What sort of English is this?
Shocking.
No, just read it again. Just take your time and read it again. Because this last...
The fourth respondent rather has been issued 4 ordinary passports, 3 of which have expired, 1 diplomatic passport under his name, Kwabena Edujemfi. Meanwhile, you start the paragraph by saying that the fourth respondent, Victor Kusi Boateng, and yet the diplomatic passport issued to him to carry out his official assignment.
Now, this particular portion is contradictory. And
very contradictory, very dubious, very sloppy, very shady.
And somebody wrote this.
Very shoddy.
The person went to school.
I mean, what we are doing to our institutions. Now, let me take my time and deal with this double identity matter. I hold in my hands here the incorporation documents of the National Cathedral of Ghana. The National Cathedral of Ghana was incorporated on the 18th of July, 2019. The Executive Council members, as listed here, those who went to register the National Cathedral of Ghana, the names are here. Charles Gabriel Palmer Bakel. The tin is provided. His date of birth is provided, 15 June 1950. Emmanuel Mate, the tin is provided. The date of birth is provided. It's 22nd July 1949. It does the same for Joseph Isud Anaba, Joyce Rosalind Aye, Most Reverend Justice Ofeya Akrofi, Nicholas Kwame Duncan Williams. I didn't know his Kwame. You know, Intiamwa Kingsley Ofosu, Opoku Onyena, Paul Frimpong Manso, Samuel Asante Enchi, Titus Kofi Awachi Pratt, Godfred Yeboah Dame, who is secretary to the board. And that's why I'm surprised that CHRAJ left his name out.
Wow.
Then you have here...
The position was that he's not serving as secretary now.
Yes.
But as of the time, he was.
Because there are some board members who have resigned. But their names are in the list as provided by CHRAJ.
That's not a defense that will work.
Yes, the same.
And then this one. Instances where in the report there's a recommendation that he should take up the investigation into
and prosecute. How do you expect him to so look, the only way forward to get accountability in this matter is to change this government. Bring in the next Mahama NDC government with a fresh attorney general to deal with this matter. To deal with this matter comprehensively. Because don't expect that this attorney general who is complicit, indicted in this, to take any prosecutorial action on this. Now, you have here Victor Kusi Boateng. I'm still reading the official incorporation documents, which I made available to CHRAJ. If CHRAJ says that they didn't go to the Office of the Register of Companies, I made this available to CHRAJ. So it's here, Victor Kusi Boateng, date of birth, 7 September 1971. His tin is provided. This is how he incorporated the National Cathedral of Ghana. In 2019, specifically 16th, the date of incorporation, 18th July 2019, date of commencement, 18th July 2019.
Okay.
Now, the question CHRAJ ought to have asked is that how come you incorporate National Cathedral of Ghana as Victor Kusi Boateng with date of birth 7 September 1971, and when you were being issued with a diplomatic passport to carry out your official assignment, it came in the name Kwabna Edu Jemfi, and in the Kwabna Edu Jemfi diplomatic passport, the date of birth there is 30th December 1969, 2 years apart. And CHRAJ could not even make an observation that, look, this is criminal, that this cannot be countenanced. And people are running away with it. Look, they will have had a case. They could have claimed that there is some clearing, if you like, if the passport found in the passport database was in the name Victor Kusi Boateng, with the same 7 September 1971 date of birth. But the passport CHRAJ found in the database is a Kwabna Edu Jemfi database. It is immaterial whether they found two different passports or not. The passport they found is in the name Kwabna Edu Jemfi, another name. Date of birth different. Is that not criminal? And CHRAJ just says that, and they leave it at that. Now come to page 39 of the CHRAJ report. Why I tell you that CHRAJ on the matter of double identity went on a whitewash mission to give Victor Kusi Boateng some lease of life, because he's been struggling all over the place, losing in court 4 times, and he's been totally decimated in the courts. So they tried to probably give him some lease of life with this sloppy.
He says he's a powerful man. Somebody says IG is a small boy.
Yeah.
He says Dan Paris is a small boy.
Yeah. He says that. He says that. Oh yeah. He says that.
Dan Paris is a small boy.
Yeah. Clearly, you see his power at play in this CHRAJ report. You know.
What is it?
Now let's read page 39, and please pay attention to this. This is very important. It is noteworthy that the other allegations contained in the complainant's 9th March 2023 letter, which revolve around the 4th respondent allegedly making false statements or declaration in order to obtain 2 tax identification numbers in both 2013 and 2016, are matters falling outside the mandate areas of the commission and thus will not be delved into. This is particularly so because at the relevant time at which the purported acts were allegedly taken, the 4th respondent was not a public officer. The 4th respondent, that's Kusi Boateng Kwabna Edu Jemfi, only became a public officer in March 2017 when the National Cathedral Board was inaugurated. The Commission is, however, mindful of the fact that making false declaration is a criminal offense as provided under Section 248 and 251 of the Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29, and they quote it. Then they conclude by saying, accordingly, the Commission is making a referral to the Attorney General of this allegation for investigations and necessary action. So how can anybody say that Kusi Boateng has been cleared? I lied on him. I should be sued.
People don't read.
They just don't read.
They don't read.
Page 39.
Page 39 and page 40. Except that, look, apart from the fact that people are not reading this report and are in a haste to engage in just mindless propaganda, CHRAJ got it wrong. CHRAJ is saying that the double identity conduct, which is criminal, he did it in his private life.
So if you're a private person, you can
have
double identity.
And CHRAJ is only interested in investigating public officials. I can understand, under the law, they deal with public officials and all of that, unless those private persons are enmeshed in a public matter. But even that, they should get it right. No. Kusi Boateng Edu Jemfi is still, as we speak, carrying on with this double identity criminal conduct. I have just read to you the incorporation of the National Cathedral of Ghana as recent as July 2019. He did it, he incorporated, registered National Cathedral. The documents he took there, he took his driver's license, which is in the name Victor Kusi Boateng. And then is currently holding a diplomatic passport, which I have published, issued to him in 2021 in another name, Kwabna Edu Jemfi, which is valid till 2026. That is it on your screen. And the date of birth, you see it there, 30th December 1969. Different from the Victor Kusi Boateng date of birth of 7 September 1971. 2 years apart. So how could CHRAJ say that, oh, these are matters he did in his private life before the board was inaugurated in 2017? CHRAJ got it totally wrong.
So it was
totally wrong. And you see, CHRAJ has no excuse because I presented them with all the evidence. I have here the GRA response to my RTI request, dated 3rd February 2023, signed by Mrs. Florence Asante. That is it. Where the GRA, writing, Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa, MP North Tongu constituent, ranking my Foreign Affairs Committee, dear sir, request for information. This bears reference to your letter dated 25 January 2023 with reference number NTC MP 012300 on the above subject, in which you have provided 2 distinct taxpayer identification numbers as belonging to the same individual. And you know under Ghanaian law that's criminal. Pursuant to the relevant provisions of the Right to Information Act and the Revenue Administration Act 2016, Act 915, as amended, we have verified the 2 distinct taxpayer identification numbers as captured on our Total Revenue Integrated Processing System, TRIPS, and which to respond as follows. 1, and they provide the TIN, P002502, I leave out the rest, is registered for Victor Kusi Boateng. The date of birth provided is 7 September 1971. The mother's maiden name is Agnes Atta. Still in the GRA database, they have Kwabna Edujemfi with TIN P006272, I leave out the rest. And the date of birth is 30th December 1969. The mother's maiden name is Yajemfua, a different mother. Miraculously, he was born by 2 mothers, 2 years apart. This is official GRA response to my RTI. I didn't stop there. I provided the driver's license, which is in the name Victor Kusi Boateng, still valid as we speak. I also provided the Ghana card from the NIA database, which is in the name Kwabna Edujemfi. Then this is even more damning. I also provided the evidence from the Electoral Commission's database. In the Electoral Commission database, in 2016, he was issued this voter's ID with voter ID number 48630169544. He said he was 40 years in 2016, voted as Victor Kusi Boateng. It's here. It's here. I have all the evidence, provided this to CHRAJ.
You gave all of this?
I gave all of this to CHRAJ. Then 4 years later, in 2020, he's issued another voter's ID. This time he says he's 50 years. Within 4 years, he grew by 10 years. So as for him, every year he grows by 2.5 years.
So in 2016, the voter ID Victor Kusi Boateng at the age of 40 years.
Age of 40 years.
And then 2020, 4 years later.
4 years later, he says he's now 50 years. If a different name, Kwabna Edujemfi. It's here. The voter ID, 89070184142. I know what I'm talking about. This is from the Electoral Commission's database. All was presented to CHRAJ.
So 2016, 40 years.
And this is, and when CHRAJ says that, oh, this is conduct before he became, this is 2020. 2020, when he had been inaugurated, a member of the National Cathedral Board, has continued. Now, let me come to even the more damning evidence which I presented to CHRAJ. Oh. Are you aware that Kusi Boateng Kwabna Edujemfi took me to court after my January 16, 2023 expose and said that the courts should deal with me, that I have defamed him, I have violated his fundamental human rights, the right to privacy and all of that. Interestingly, he went to court as Kwabna Edujemfi, alias Victor Kusi Boateng. Interestingly, the judgment I'm about to read to you, the official records at the court, Kwabna Edujemfi, alias Victor Kusi Boateng. When he went to CHRAJ, he said he's Victor Kusi Boateng, alias Kwabna Edujemfi. The CHRAJ report which was published, is here.
Well, that's public document. Anybody can
yes.
find on that.
You know, interesting. We don't know which one is the name, which one is the alias. So this is what the respected judge said in this matter, in delivering her judgment her judgment of 13 July 2023. The judge, I'm going to read from paragraph 86, page 30 of the judgment. The judge says, clearly, the evidence before the court overwhelmingly demonstrates that the applicant, who describes himself as Kwabna Edujemfi, alias Victor Kusi Boateng, uses 2 names independent of each other for different purposes and does so concurrently. In the opinion of the court, counsel for the first respondent is justified. That's me. Is justified when in his statement of case, he argues that the name Victor Kusi Boateng, which the supposed applicant refers to as his alias, is not an alias. The name Victor Kusi Boateng is actually another identity actively used by the applicant. In the face of such overwhelming evidence, the averment made by the applicant in his supplementary affidavit to the effect that he has been informed by his lawyer and verily believes him to be true, that per the laws of Ghana, the fact that a person can be identified by two different sets of names is not a crime, and such a person will not be denied the protection of his fundamental human rights enshrined in the 1922 Constitution by virtue of the fact that he is identified by two different sets of names, unquote, is in the view of the court completely misconceived. Completely misconceived. Then the judge continues. This is because the evidence placed before this court does not disclose a simple case of an individual who is identified by two different sets of names, but rather it discloses a case of an individual who deliberately uses two different identities in his public dealings, either to conceal his true identity, to exploit a loophole in the law, or for whatever reason best known to him, such that but for the revelations made by the first respondent, it will be difficult for any public institution or person dealing with the applicant to relate one identity with the other. The evidence before this court discloses a pattern of duplicity and a lack of transparency on the part of the applicant, which borders on criminality. This is the court of Ghana, not me. Which borders on criminality, and the failure of applicant's counsel to appreciate the import of his client's conduct and to advise him appropriately is unfortunate, to say the least. Even Kusi Boateng, Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi's lawyers were criticized in this judgment. Well, the judge continues, as was stated earlier, this court has had to painstakingly comb through the totality of the evidence before it in order to decipher the identity of the applicant, who commenced this action because of the contention over his true identity. Having established that the applicant, who described himself as Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi, alias Victor Kusi Boateng, operates in two distinct and separate identities concurrently, the question which of the applicant's two identities is the originator of this action is relevant, as that will enable the court to make specific orders at the end of the case. In other words, the court must know whether the applicant before it is Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi, who was born on 30th December 1969, and whose mother's maiden name is Yajemfwa, or Victor Kusi Boateng, who was born on 7 September 1971, 2 years later, and whose mother's maiden name is Agnes Atta, unquote. It's the judgment.
So this is the judgment of the court that you... I see, but
as recent as 13 July 2023.
His lawyer is also quoted, and this is Bobby Bansing is his lawyer,
yes,
right? It's quoted saying that there cannot be different facts. At the end of the day, CHRAJ has come up with their conclusion, their findings of facts, which say that all the allegations made against Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi, Reverend Kusi Boateng, were not supported by the evidence on record. And he believes that this settles it, the matter of all the hullabaloo that has been made against the personality of the prophet. This should bring an end to the matter.
How? Is this legal propaganda?
How does it bring an end to the matter? Even the CHRAJ
read the report?
The passport they found is not in the name Victor Kusi Boateng. It's in another name with a different date of birth. How does this settle the matter? How? The page 39 and 40, the only mistake CHRAJ made is that they say that he did this in his private life, so the Attorney General should take it up and prosecute him. How does this settle the matter? How? How does this clean him up? Except that CHRAJ ought to have known that he has continued to do that. Even the old evidence before them. The National Cathedral Corporation, the name there, Victor Kusi Boateng, 7 September 1971. When he's being issued with a diplomatic passport to go about his official duties, it comes in another name, Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi, a different date of birth. This is all happening now. And CHRAJ says that, oh, these are matters that happened in his private life. So CHRAJ got the timelines wrong. This was clearly an attempt at whitewashing, a very shabby, a very shady and shoddy one, which in the process, CHRAJ has dragged its own credibility down with Kusi Boateng, Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi. And I pity CHRAJ. I mean, why are they doing this to their reputation? And you have propagandist lawyers saying that this settles what?
Well,
how does this settle anything?
That's his lawyer. It's counsel.
It's propaganda. Treat it with the contempt that it deserves. Because you've seen the evidence. You've seen the evidence. Even the CHRAJ report, how does the CHRAJ report claim? How does it claim? The CHRAJ say that they didn't find another passport in the name, in any other name apart from Victor Kusi Boateng. No. CHRAJ is saying that the passport they found, even though in the passport database they found one passport, that passport is in the name Kwabena Edudjemfi. And the date of birth in that passport is 30th December 1969. Different from the incorporation documents where Kusi Boateng himself, when he went to register National Cathedral, says that I am Victor Kusi Boateng. I was born 7 September 1971. It's here. Together with all the other eminent clergy. And CHRAJ, couldn't see the clear criminality in this, as the respected High Court judge did when Kusi Boateng himself dragged me to court. So look, on the matter of double identity, let Ghanaians get it clear. Kusi Boateng Kwabena has not been cleared by CHRAJ. It's all empty propaganda. Read the CHRAJ report. Read page 39, read page 40, read page 159 of the CHRAJ report. It's not been cleared. Now let me quickly deal with the conflict of interest. And you see, let's give a quick background.
In a minute.
Yes.
Quickly.
Ghanaians ought to know that this whole matter of Kusi Boateng Kwabena Edudjemfi came about when the National Cathedral of Ghana came to Parliament. We asked for a breakdown of how they have used the 339 million. Then they provided a breakdown and said that they have paid 2.6 million to a company called JNS Talent Center Limited, which they describe as contractors mobilization. I then got curious because I know that the contractor is Ribadi, as has been confirmed by CHRAJ. How come another entity is receiving 2.6 million as contractors mobilization? That's how this matter started. So those who are out there say, oh, maybe there's something personal. No, there's nothing personal between Kusi Boateng and I. It is because of documents they themselves brought to Parliament that we have paid JNS Talent Center 2.6 million. So that triggered my parliamentary oversight. I started investigating. Then I've discovered that, JNS Talent Center Limited belongs to Kwabena Edudjemfi. He's a director. There are 3 directors there, Kwabena Edudjemfi, Johannes Eshen, and Sheila Eshen, who are a couple. They are all pastors.
And they are respondents to this petition.
And they are respondents in this petition. So how come JNS, owned by Kwabena Edudjemfi? So I decided to dig further to, lift the veil. And I found out that, oh, what a shock. Kwabena Edudjemfi is the same Victor Kusi Boateng. I saw the pictures, I saw the identities, the national IDs. It's the same person. That was what then opened this Pandora's box. So I go to CHRAJ, conflict of interest. That look, they have told us in Parliament that 2.6 million for contractors mobilization. The evidence I have gathered from my investigation does not support that. Now CHRAJ is saying, in coming to this conclusion, CHRAJ is saying that look, we didn't find the paperwork. The National Cathedral people, the kind of corporate governance which they exhibited in this matter is really terrible. And indeed, I'm going to read so that people don't say that I am probably adding my own words. The CHRAJ's own recommendations.
While we round up on this matter.
Yes, CHRAJ's own recommendations and further observations on this matter. And it is important that...
if you're looking for that, there's a part that says the informal nature surrounding the processes leading up to the transfer of the money. That's 2.6 million cedis to the National, that's from the National Cathedral to GNS Talent Limited.
Yes.
Also demonstrate administrative lapses at such high positions and should not be countenanced. Good corporate governance requires that this should have been, it says,
you are
recorded.
right. So reading from page 161. Then CHRAJ also notes that most important, section 1883 of Act 992 mandates minutes of meetings of directors to be taken and kept in a book. Section 1883 provides that a company shall cause minutes of the proceedings of meetings of the directors and a committee of directors to be entered into in a book or books kept for the purpose. On the issue of the absence of minutes, the board chair, Professor Pokonyana, of the National Cathedral stated, quote, documentations on issues involving the National Cathedral of Ghana and JNS Talent Center Limited from January 2020 to September 2021. Kindly note, it was a normal administrative transaction, and thus and was thus therefore not recorded in the minutes of the board. It was an offer made by GNS Limited, which was paid within a short period. So you have here the National Cathedral saying that this matter of going for a loan from GNS, as they are now claiming, even though they told Parliament that it was contractors' mobilization. Now they say it was a loan they gave to GNS, that GNS had given to them and they were paying back.
Yes.
Now, there was no board resolution to confirm that. Indeed, CHRAJ says that when they asked them, they also added that our modus operandi is that we agree amongst ourselves not to take minutes of directors of meetings. Then CHRAJ continues at page 162. This is rather very unfortunate situation and needs to be discouraged. It has the potential to cast doubt in the minds of the ordinary man on the integrity of transactions, and it's a very dangerous practice. The danger of such informality in the handling of affairs is evidence in the situation where the resolution of the fifth respondent, that's JNS company, to transfer the money to the National Cathedral, SB 28, predated the formal request for the money by the third respondent. The resolution to transfer the money to the National Cathedral by the third respondent was passed on 25th August 2021, whereas the formal request for the loan by the National Cathedral is dated 26 August 2021, SB 23. So, do you get what is going on? The only document CHRAJ found is a resolution by the JNS board. And even that resolution, it predates the formal request from National Cathedral. So what is going on here? When they were even cooking the documents, they couldn't even take their time and check the dates. CHRAJ is saying that they didn't find board resolutions, didn't find documents. And yet, CHRAJ gives them the benefit of the doubt that perhaps it's a loan which they are paying back. So when it comes to the aspects to do with Kusi Boateng, and the conflict of interest matter, to be honest with you, CHRAJ doesn't cover themselves in glory, you know, and for people to then be all over the place saying that, creating the impression as if, you know, I didn't have basis to go to CHRAJ. When actually, when you read the conclusion of this report, CHRAJ states clearly, let me read it. It says, in conclusion, the complaint is justified in part. My complaint is justified in part at the end of the investigations. The claim of conflict of interest relating to the fourth respondent is without merit, based on the results of investigation. Whilst the allegation of breaches of mandatory procurement provisions under the Public Procurement Act 663, as amended by Act 914, have been justified. I justify those. You see, and then the Commission takes the opportunity to express its gratitude to the parties, especially the complainant and his lawyers, for the cooperation extended to the Commission during the investigation. So what's all that propaganda out there about? You see, and you see, it's an interesting point you make then, and I'll bring you briefly on this matter, because one part of the most important aspect of this is what Okudzeto Ablakwa has done on the issue of now we getting to know what the details of this issue is. Now the public is aware, based on the CHRAJ report, 165 pages as we've come through this morning. The other important aspect is the implementation or execution of the recommendations. Alfred, pardon me, just 10 seconds, just quickly, before Martin comes, because this is very crucial. Quick one. You see, when CHRAJ also says that Kusi Boateng engaged in that conduct, the double identity conduct in his private life, I have other companies which Kusi Boateng Kwabena has incorporated, and I presented all to CHRAJ, even after he has become a public official. So CHRAJ says that he became a public official in 2017 when the board was inaugurated. Look at when he's Victor Kusi Boateng. These are official documents from the Office of Register of Company. When he is operating as Victor Kusi Boateng, even after his inauguration in 2017, on 14 January 2019, he incorporated El Dunamis Media Limited. 26 March 2019, he went to incorporate another company on Point One Laundry Limited. 14th May 2021, he incorporated Vibrant Generation Chapel Worldwide, LBG. 20th May 2021, he incorporated Dunamis Chapel Worldwide. Then when he's operating as Kwabena Edujemfi, after 2017, after the inauguration when he became a public official, on 21st October 2020, he inaugurated the 4Bs company. He registered that. Since November 2020, he registered Anibis Petroleum Limited. 19 July 2021, he registered Great Speed Engineering and Construction Limited. 9 December 2021, he registered New Wave FM Limited. 8 June 2022, he registered another company, Lloyds General and Risk Limited. 16 January 2023, only last year, he registered Dunamis Insurance Brokers Limited. He's all over the place, everywhere, from petroleum to insurance to radio, media.
All of this companies.
All of this after 2017. And I presented all of this to CHRAJ. So it is not true that, it is not accurate that this his double identity thing, he stopped along the way, or when he became a public official, he stopped. And so CHRAJ will not go into it. CHRAJ has let this country down. They've totally let us down. Look at the overwhelming evidence.
No. So there are companies registered in the two names?
Yes, in the two names, concurrently. Different dates of birth, different things, different mothers. Different mothers.
Even that one
yes.
They kill me.
Two mothers. Two mothers. Two mothers. Yes.
The guys, I thought the guys were saying, Umami Baku.
But you see, in the end of the day,